They say the most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest voice or the one who craves attention. It's the one who moves quietly, calm, steady, and always calculating. Now imagine that person being a woman. A woman who doesn't depend on crowds, doesn't need constant company, and doesn't wait for anyone's approval. A woman who chooses her own space, her own thoughts, and her own time. That's not weakness. That's a higher form of strength. Solitude is where true transformation begins. Most people fear being alone because it forces them to face themselves, but a woman who accepts that silence is studying, healing, preparing, sharpening every part of herself until nothing can shake her. By the time she steps out into the world, she's already 10 moves ahead. You can't break her with rumors. You can't trap her with attention. And you can't sway her with other people's opinions. She has built her power in the one place most never dare to enter. Within herself. When you master your own mind, you become untouchable. That is why a woman who spends time in solitude is dangerous, because her silence is not empty. It is strategy, resilience, and hidden power. When a woman chooses her own company, she enters a battlefield many avoid. The battlefield of the mind. It's easy to drown in noise. Surround yourself with people, distract yourself with endless conversations, parties, or shallow relationships. But when she sits with herself, cutting off distractions, that's when the real work begins. That's when she faces her thoughts, her weaknesses, and her strengths. Mastering yourself is not about controlling the outside world. It's about conquering the world inside. That's what makes her dangerous, because most people never attempt that kind of work. Alone time is not emptiness. It's training. It's sharpening her inner blade. It's where she separates what she truly desires from what the world told her to want. It's where she challenges old beliefs, keeps the ones that serve her, and destroys the ones that don't. Silence scares people because you can't run from yourself in silence. But she embraces it. She learns to sit with pain instead of escaping it, to sit with emotions until she understands them instead of drowning them in company or distractions. This is the root of self-mastery. She no longer breaks under storms that crush others because she has already faced storms in her own solitude. Every hour, every day, every week she spends in her own company adds another hidden layer of discipline. She learns to control her impulses, to stop reacting instantly, to move beyond emotions that try to dictate decisions. Most people are driven by fear, anger, insecurity, or the need for approval. But once she has mastered herself, she moves from clarity. Every word she says, every action she takes carries weight, because it comes from inner authority, not outside influence. And think about how dangerous that is in a world that feeds off insecurity. Companies, advertisers, even some relationships are built on making you feel like you're not enough, like you need someone or something to complete you. But she's different. She doesn't need praise. She doesn't need permission. She doesn't need applause. Her worth is built within herself, and that cannot be taken away. That makes her untouchable in ways money, looks, or status never could. This changes how she moves in the world. A woman who has mastered herself never begs for attention. She draws it naturally. People sense when someone is grounded, steady, and centered. It's magnetic. But this magnetism is not about shallow attraction. It's about respect. Men respect her. Women admire her. Even those who envy her can't ignore her presence because she knows herself deeply. Nobody can sell her lies. Nobody can fool her with empty promises. She has already seen through the game in her silence. Self-mastery also gives her patience. And patience is a powerful weapon. In a world where everyone chases instant rewards, she can wait, watch, and move only when the moment is right. She is not afraid of waiting seasons because she knows real growth takes time. That is a power most people never reach. Her solitude has taught her how to be still, to breathe, to watch, and to act with precision. She becomes her own best friend, her own coach, her own protector. And when you no longer need anyone else for validation, that is where real freedom begins. That's when the system, opinions, and fear of loneliness no longer control you. The truth is, most people never feel at ease with themselves. They run from silence, from stillness, from facing their shadow. But she doesn't run. She sits with it until she owns it. That is why self-mastery is the root of her power. That is why she is dangerous. Because she has conquered the one enemy most people never face: themselves. When a woman spends time alone, her vision sharpens in ways others can't imagine. Constant noise and company blur the truth, filling your head with other people's energy, opinions, and voices. But in solitude, her senses heighten. She starts seeing details others ignore. She learns to study body language, tone, consistency, and hidden intentions with sharper focus. Time alone gives her the ability to step back and see the bigger picture, not just the surface. It's like she develops an inner radar, an awareness that cuts through the noise. Observation grows from patience, and patience is a lesson solitude teaches better than anything else. While the crowd reacts, she analyzes. While others are caught in the moment, she watches what lies beneath. She learns to spot patterns in behavior, to notice the difference between words and actions. That awareness protects her from being fooled, manipulated, or caught off guard. She doesn't move based on illusions because she sees through them. And when you see through illusions, you gain a level of control in life that few people ever reach. In her alone time, she replays events, not to drive herself mad, but to learn. She studies her past choices, her mistakes, and her victories. She breaks them down like film review, finding lessons others overlook because they are too distracted. This reflection sharpens her instincts, and sharp instincts become her armor. They stop her from falling into the same traps twice. They allow her to move smarter, not just faster. Her observation also extends to her environment. She notices the energy in a room the moment she walks in. She can tell who truly holds power and who is only pretending. She can feel tension before words are even spoken. That awareness makes her dangerous because it means she can't anticipate moves before they unfold. Most people enter blindly, reacting to what is obvious. But she studies the small details. She's not only listening to words, but also the pauses, the slips, the silence between them. She's not just looking at smiles. She notices the eyes, the body language, the pauses. That ability protects her from being caught off guard and allows her to always stay a few steps ahead. It also sharpens her awareness of herself. She pays attention to her own emotions rising and falling, her own triggers, her own energy shifting depending on who she is around. That self-awareness is priceless. It means she can separate her feelings from reality. It means she knows when she's projecting, when she's being tested, and when she needs to pull back instead of pushing forward. A woman with that kind of awareness doesn't lose herself in situations because she is firmly rooted in her own present. The world moves quickly and people often act without thinking, but she's learned how to slow it down, how to notice the details, how to catch what most people overlook. That doesn't just make her observant, it makes her powerful. Because power isn't always about being the loudest or the toughest. Sometimes power is about being the one who notices what nobody else sees. She carries herself with calm confidence because she knows her awareness is her protection. And people can feel it when they are around her. They can sense that she can't be tricked, that she can't be easily swayed, that she won't fall for the games that work on others. Awareness and observation aren't flashy. They don't always show on the surface, but they are the silent strengths that shape her every move. Alone time gives her the space to polish them, to sharpen them, to practice them until they become second nature. And once that awareness is rooted deep, it changes the way she moves through life. When a woman spends time by herself, strategy becomes natural to her. Being alone gives her the one resource most people waste. Time to think not just about the moment, but to plan her steps 5, 10 moves ahead. The world is full of people reacting, rushing at chances without understanding them, chasing attention without direction. But she isn't rushing. She uses her quiet hours to examine her position, her resources, her strengths, and her weaknesses. She looks at where she stands and where she wants to go, then creates the path that links the two. That's strategy. It's living with intention instead of stumbling through survival. Being strategic doesn't mean she avoids risk. It means she selects her risks carefully. She's not gambling, she's investing. When people see her act, it may appear quick or unexpected, But the truth is she's been preparing that move for months or even years in her solitude. She has already considered the consequences, already weighed the outcomes, already braced for setbacks. That's what makes her dangerous. She's not playing by luck. She's playing with precision. Her time alone lets her zoom out. She's not only thinking about next week or next month. She's thinking of the bigger picture. She studies herself like a project, noticing her patterns, her flaws, her habits, then adjusting them to serve her goals. That type of strategy separates her from people who move blindly, who let emotions run their choices, who repeat the same mistakes again and again. She's not living on impulse because she has already built a map in her mind. The power of strategic thinking is that it makes her unpredictable. People may